This week, it's a fun one as we travel in Cathay Pacific's business class aboard the Boeing 777. After years of missing out, I'm finally in the pier lounge, and yes, that means the noodle bar is firmly on the menu. We get waved at from a Russian Aeroflot flight crew, and the husband finally has zero complaints about the legroom. Well, hello and welcome to this week's video. Welcome to Hong Kong. It's Christmas Day. There's no denying when I recorded this on account of that humongous Christmas tree that's over my right shoulder. But where are we going to today? Well, we're flying Cathay Pacific. It's a first for me, my very first time aboard Cathay Pacific. Really looking forward to this one. We're flying in business class from here in Hong Kong across to Taipei in Taiwan. Really looking forward to it. Not least because I've never flown Cathay before, but secondly, we've got the 1-2-1 business class format, the seat layout. So we've got that long-haul business class product, which I'm looking forward to. Admittedly, it's not the Aria suite, but it's still something to get excited about. So it's an early night for me and my husband. We're going to head back to the hotel, and I'll catch up with you back at Hong Kong International Airport for that flight over to Taipei. Well, Joe Sun, and a very good morning. We start today in Mong Kok, taking the MTR to the Airport Express. That said, it's not always great value. At 120 Hong Kong dollars per person, about £12, a taxi would only cost about £5 more in total, so it's worth bearing in mind if you're flying out of Hong Kong in the coming weeks. The Christmas decorations were in full swing and nice to see, and HKG is always alive with activity. If you're looking for the Cathay Pacific check-in desks and bag drop areas, these are located in Zone C, and there's plenty of staff on hand to help. Today though, we've packed light and have hand luggage only, so it's straight through security for us. So all through security, probably no longer than about 1 to 2 minutes in there, so that was really efficient here at Hong Kong International Airport. Business class lounge access obviously included with the business class ticket. We have a choice of 3 with Cathay Pacific, and we are headed to the pier at gate 66. To get there though, a transfer train is needed. It's really simple, and before we knew it, we were actually in the delights of the pier lounge. As you descend the escalator, you're met with an immediate sense of calm. Our boarding passes were scanned by the wonderful Cathay staff, and we were granted access to the lounge. The Christmas decorations were in full swing, including numerous pesky elves too. Now, if you're flying on a Cathay or One World partnered business class ticket or have relevant Sapphire or Emerald status, then you'll gain access to the lounge. So sometimes, just sometimes, you come into a lounge and you are absolutely blown away, and that's what's happened in the pier at Gate 66, Cathay Pacific's flagship lounge here in Hong Kong International Airport. It is nothing short of beautiful. Really elegant, really relaxed, really refined, soft lighting, beautiful sort of zonal elements to it. So you've got a tea house, you've got the noodle bar, the famous noodle bar, which I've heard so much about over these years, and very, very glad to try that shortly. You've got a Western breakfast section, lots of other different areas as well, cakes, patisseries, cookies, and just a really nice feel to it. It really is a beautiful, beautiful lounge, and very well designed by Cathay Pacific. They've nailed every single element really. So I'll take you on a tour, show you around, and let's get this journey started across to Taiwan. Now, the first area we come to is the Bureau, a perfect space to unwind, relax, or catch up on a bit of work. There's plenty of complimentary newspapers, as well as live flight information screens as well. This is a silent lounge though, with no announcements with the exception of severe delays or schedule changes, so do keep your eyes on the departure board. As for seating, there's lots of different types and styles, as well as different areas. There really is something for everyone in this lounge. The centrepiece bar is also absolutely stunning, with so many options from non-alcoholic to alcoholic, from sweet wines to champagne, Cathay classics, and many, many cocktails. It's also worth mentioning there were some festive drink offers as well, including Christmas mulled wine and 3 Christmas cocktails, including raspberry sparkle, a Christmas spiced tea with dark rum and drambuie, and a spiced Remy Martin brandy with apple. But now to the noodle bar, a live cooking section with a variety of help-yourself condiments. The options were broad, and I placed an order for the wonton noodle soup, always a favourite with me, and I'll show you that one later. I must say though that everyone who's told me about this feature of the lounge is absolutely right. The concept is spot on. There were juices and teas available on a free pour basis, and yes, that does include unlimited Hong Kong style milk tea. I'm a big fan. To the right of this is a hot Chinese classic section including melon and 5 bean soup, stir-fried egg noodles with soy sauce, a selection of steamed vegetables, and vegetable and pork steamed buns. After here, I took a trip to the tea house, which is an epitome of calm. With so many Jing teas to choose from, you really will be lost, but the friendly staff here can help make recommendations based on your likes and dislikes, and there really is something for everyone here. Definitely give it a go. There were also fresh iced juices available and a selection of sweet canapés to pair with your drinks. I really am in heaven. As the husband dived into a pot of whole peppermint leaf Jing tea, I popped to the coffee shop, which is this beautiful trolley. The space offers a range of illy coffee drinks with, yes, even more sweet canapés. They were all pretty tasty, but these beautiful little cinnamon Christmas cookies were exceptionally good. Finally, there's also a Western food section as well, offering a variety of fresh fruit, desserts, a chilled salad bar, olives and nibbles, as well as a cheese and cold meat selection too. There were pasta dishes available, the obligatory Christmas dinner which we'll come to later, and these lovely polpetti meatballs, also a win. Pizza is also on the lounge here too, freshly cooked of course, and there were 2 types of soup on offer today, as well as fresh focaccia bread. And finally, this Christmas lemon and ricotta panettone caught my eye. I couldn't resist a slice or two. Good morning from the Pier Lounge here at Gate 66 in Hong Kong's International Airport, and I must say I am pretty impressed. Now, I have heard lots of good things about Cathay Pacific. Obviously, in that recent Instagram voting session I put up, Cathay Pacific I think was the 2nd highest requested airline, so I am here to deliver for you today, doing it in business class across to Taiwan. What's for breakfast then? Well, I've gone for a bowl of wonton soup, wonton noodles, which, without pouring all over myself, you can kind of see it there, a bit of chili oil in there and some spring onions, and of course the breakfast drink that everyone goes for, the Negroni, so bottoms up. I do love a Negroni, feels even more applicable at breakfast time. So this is a great lounge, there's absolutely no denying that. I think the success of this lounge is in its design really, and how it's all split into different sections. You've got relaxation areas, you've got the showers if you need to grab a quick shower, you've got the tea house, you've got the really famous noodle bar, which I see why everyone raves about it because it is really good. You've got the Western food station, you've got a little coffee shop on wheels. As you travel around, there's lots of different things available to you, and you sort of walk through the lounge and grab one thing and then see 3 or 4 other things and have to keep going back. But it's really well designed. The staff are exceptionally helpful. All English speaking as well, which is kind of helpful because my Cantonese is extremely ropey, borderline non-existent. So yeah, we're going to kick back, relax in the Pier Lounge before we take that very short journey, around 2 hours, across to Taipei. Back to the bar, I tried Cathay's Orange Dream, a mix of orange and grapefruit juices with honey, and it was really tasty. My husband had another whole peppermint leaf tea, and we also tried the Cathay Delight drink, a blend of kiwi juice, coconut milk and fresh mint. The restrooms were also exceptionally clean and had Bamford amenities stocked throughout. And in the interests of ongoing Anglo-Chinese relations, I'm giving the Cathay Pacific Christmas dinner a whirl. Now it's sliced turkey and gravy with Brussels sprouts, candied walnuts and bacon, and it actually looks, to give them their credit, pretty decent. So here goes. Let's give it a whirl. Do you know what? That's a pretty decent effort. I'll give you that one, Cathay. My husband enjoyed the char siu pork with egg rice and said it was delicious, alongside a helping of the beef sumai dumplings with red vinegar and a helping of the wonton soup too. The staff also bought us a plate of chocolates and sweets to help celebrate the seasonal period. It's also worth mentioning that there are exceptional views of the apron directly from the lounge, so if you're the AvGeek type, you'll certainly be in your element. So sadly had to leave the Pier Lounge because our flight is boarding, so heading over to gate 46.
Sad.
Very sad. Cathay Pacific, you have 2 new fans of your lounge. Big fan. And also in the future, a little bit of a teaser, should be in the Cathay Pacific Lounge at Terminal 3's Heathrow, so keep your eyes peeled on that one for 2026. But for now, our flight is boarding, so we're going to head over to the gate. And here's something totally alien to me, and something we certainly haven't seen in Europe for quite some time, an Aeroflot Airbus A330. We got a nice friendly wave from the crew as it pushed back for Moscow with a flight time of 10 hours and 20 minutes. Let's hope we'll see peace in that region soon. And flying us over to Taipei today is this 14-year-old Boeing 777-300 Extended Range Series aircraft, which was delivered to Cathay Pacific back in February of 2012. It's also not fitted with the regional business class cabin and instead the long and ultra-long haul cabin seat. If you look closely on Cathay's website and seating plans when you're making a booking, just opt for any routes that show the 1-2-1 seating layout if you want to replicate this journey for yourself. Oh, and I think it was fair to say that the husband was certainly gleaming with delight that he was back in business class. The cabin is in a 1-2-1 seating layout, and my seat for today's journey is 23A, a window seat, with the husband sitting next to me in 23D. Well, welcome aboard this Cathay Pacific CX420 over to Taipei. All on board now, and my initial impressions are wow. Genuinely wow. I know this is an old product, and Cathay Pacific have got their new Aria suite coming in now. That's across their cabins, and that looks pretty super. I must admit, I'm not going to lie, that does look a really great product. But this product is slightly older. It's the older generation business class product, but it still wows, and it wows in the area of legroom. Yes, it's a little bit dated in terms of there's a couple of sort of, not defects, but you can see like upholstery issues in the seat. But in terms of space, it's really, really spacious. So spacious, in fact, it's probably the first business class seat I've ever sat in where my feet actually don't get to the end of the row where they would sort of sit in the footwell. So that's a really impressive start. Welcome drinks have already come round already. There's a choice of water and champagne, or the Cathay Original, the Cathay Pacific style smoothie drink, which of course I went for, and it was great. business class menu on the table waiting for us, and a really impressive selection. And we'll get on to dining later on in the flight. It's only a short flight, but the offerings are pretty decent for a flight of this length. Compare this to a business class flight of this length back in the UK with a legacy carrier, which you'd just get the middle seat blocked out and, not this same level of comfort. It's pretty impressive that Cathay are flying these huge jets around Asia on short flights to ensure passenger comfort, and that gets a big thumbs up from me. The seat has a padded headrest with cotton cover and a large soft Bamford pillow and seatbelt with airbag. There's a large pop-out in-flight entertainment screen, a vanity mirror, a storage section with noise-cancelling headphones, USB-A and AC power, and even AV input sockets. That's a blast from the past. There's seat controls, a reading light and IFE remote. There's also overhead reading lights too, and 2 whole windows to your section. The tray table pops out and is large in size, and as I said earlier, the legroom here really is on point. There's also more storage to the left of your seat, and a literature pocket to the right, as well as a pop-up armrest, which is really comfortable. Finally, there's a coat hook on the outer section of your suite for any jackets or coats. Sometimes you board a flight and you know straight away, within the first 10 minutes, I think, you get an inkling whether it's going to be good or bad. And I'm blown away. The cabin crew are superb. All digital iPad ordering system taken pre-departure. We've just been told by the captain it's actually going to be 1 hour and 8 minutes over to Taipei, so much quicker than I thought. It's listed as nearly 2 hours, which of course they always overcompensate, but we thought it'd be about 1 hour and a half. But yeah, listed as 1 hour and 8, so a super speedy flight over to Taiwan. So the crew have come round with their iPads, taken our food orders already, and a preference on drink. I was introduced by the lead cabin crew, so the in-flight lead, who introduced herself and addressed me by my surname. Just superbly elegant and personalised service. Asked me if I wanted to dine, if so, what would I like. They've got a choice of meal for every single person in business class, be it the fish or the beef, which I've gone for, and I'll talk about that later on. We'll go through those options of the dining that's available. But for now, sit back. We are pushing back as we speak. Let's get up in the air and start this business class flight review over to Taiwan. So as you can hear by the roar of those very, unique sounding 777 engines, we are still in the climb. But for me, it's back to work. I've got about just over an hour to put this seat through its paces, give it a good review for you guys, test that dining. That's the seatbelt sign going off, and that's my time to start work. So let's test this seat then in fully lie flat mode. I'm currently in that kind of cradle position, which you know I am a big fan of, where you kind of half recline in that kind of zero gravity position. I'm going to recline the seat now though. I'll show you how we do that, and then I'll test this fully lie flat bed for any of you thinking of flying this config on longer flights. As lie flat beds go, sometimes the saying is the old seats are the best. Now, I'm yet to try Cathay Pacific's Area Suite, so I can't 100% confirm if that comment's correct. What I can tell you though is this lie flat seating position on this 777 is pretty darn good, and from a space perspective, it really is fantastic. The whole sort of seat in itself is just really well designed. There's a great level of width where your feet go down the bottom in the footwell. And I'm not the slimmest of guys, so sometimes these lie flat beds can be quite narrow, but this one is not the case. It's super wide, really comfortable. And this pillow from Bamford's is really, really comfy and bouncy too. Zero complaints from me. To prove that theory of the space in this seat, I've just compared it a bit like British Airways' first class seat, where you used to be able to do the buddy dining. Now, I was flying BA's first class long before I started my YouTube, but I'm hoping to take a return to that next year or the year after. However, to prove that theory of the space, I've been joined by a very special guest. It's the husband. Like it?
Plenty of space. I'd go to sleep if it was a longer flight.
So would I, but we have got some beef tenderloin to eat. I think you went for the halibut, didn't you?
I'm not sleeping through Asian fish, no chance.
That is a man after my own heart. And speaking of food, here's the menu, and boy is it extensive for such a short hop. Today's menu offered us either steamed halibut fillet with Chinese gooseberry sauce and pickled young ginger, or grilled prime Australian beef tenderloin with red wine sauce. There's plenty of drinks on offer too, including ILR Brut Major Champagne from the House of Bollinger, and this delightful 2022 Chateau d'Arche Blanc Bordeaux, which has got my name written all over it. So, of course, moment of truth, meal service about to start. I've gone for the beef tenderloin in a red wine sauce with mashed potato and vegetables. Husband gone for the halibut. More on that shortly, because I can see my main coming as we speak. So I just asked the crew, thank you so much, cheers. I just asked the crew if it would be possible to try the sauternes, the dessert wine, and she said absolutely no problems. Obviously we've just had the 30-minute to landing call from the captain to let everybody know we're coming in. So she said as long as you're happy having it in a paper cup, I'll gladly get it for you. Crikey, I can't even get my words out. And it's stuff like that, it's intrinsically detail-driven service elements like that that allow you to realise that this is a premium carrier. You know, a lot of airlines at this point in the flight would say sorry, no, you know, but there we go. Sauternes in a paper cup, which is one of my favourite dessert wines. So let's talk about the food then, whilst I drink my sauternes, and we're about 25 minutes to go. So I went for the Australian beef tenderloin fillet. It was cooked medium rare, absolutely superb. It wasn't dry in any way, and beef is a tough meat to get right at altitude, so that was great. Came with a gravy sauce, and sweet potato, lots of other vegetables, onions, and there was some mushrooms there as well. Really, really tasty, with that red wine gravy sauce. Really, really delicious knockout dish. There was a bread roll served with butter. It was kind of a almost like a grainy style roll, white roll, really tasty, nice salted butter. There was a fruit salad, again really good. Fruit was crisp, but not like frozen crisp, just fresh and tasty. And there was pineapple, there was melon, and there was red apple, again really tasty. And then for dessert was the strawberry mousse, which was really, really nice. A little bit stronger sat than normal, but it was tasty. It was almost on the verging of a panna cotta texture, with a sponge base, vanilla sponge base, strawberry sauce and fresh strawberries. Again, really, really tasty. That was accompanied with my beautiful glass of white wine. I went for the white Bordeaux. Appreciate white and beef, not a great mix. Most people go for red with meat, but I'm a bit different. I like my white wine, so I thought I'd go for that. And a glass of still water. And now finishing off this delightful experience with a glass of sauternes. The husband said the halibut was nothing short of perfect, cooked incredibly well, and he did love the sachet of Chinese chili sauce. And of course he joined in the alcohol fun, opting for a Manhattan cocktail. The toilets for business class are larger in size, which is always a great detail in my opinion. I don't particularly like battling for space. They are exceptionally clean with toilet seat covers in place, a range of Bamford toiletries and hot water. A thumbs up for Cathay from me. Although a quick flight, I did have time to jump on the Wi-Fi. It's complimentary for passengers in business and just needs your surname as it appears on the booking, along with your seat number in order to connect. It's streaming quality and covers you for the entire flight. The IFE is great, but it's sadly showing signs of its age. It comes with quite a bit of lag and you sometimes have to press twice or thrice to get to your selected screen. It was the same for my husband's too, so probably more of a fleet-wide issue rather than an individual one. I'm pretty sure though that the Aria suite will have remedied this. And with that, it was time for us to strap in as we approach Taipei. The captain warned us of a possible bumpy approach owing to low-lying cloud and thunderstorms in the area, so we prepared for a bit of a bumpy ride. For just 68 minutes in the air, Cathay Pacific absolutely nailed the execution on this one, from door closure to touchdown in Taipei. The crew were exceptional, calm, polished and completely in sync. Watching that level of teamwork on such a short sector was genuinely inspiring. Nothing felt rushed or forced, just a perfectly judged service flow, delivered with a real and palpable sense of pride. It's easy to overlook flights like this, but today was a reminder that great service isn't about flight time, it's about people. And Cathay Pacific proved that in an absolutely awesome way. I've always said, I think my motto is, if ever you get off a flight or you leave a lounge or you leave an airport even, you feel ever so slightly sad, then I think from a customer experience point of view, the airline or the airport or wherever you've been have done their job, and this is certainly one of those experiences. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Now feels like the perfect moment to ask, if you're enjoying the adventures so far, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and come along for the ride with a growing community of fellow travellers.